Alright, what's up guys? I am back at it again. This is week 3 of the NFL season, so looking forward to the Bills and Miami game, see what happens. Uh, Alright, so I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the NFL 2004 roster editor that I've been working on, and I have the basics down in terms of the editing of players, and the thing with this new editor is you have to basically create players. You can't just go and use the players that are in the game already, as I mentioned earlier. So there's a little bit of legwork that needs to happen in order to make this stuff work. So I'm probably not going to release this for at least another week, I think, because I'm in the process of trying to make rosters for this season for NFL Fever, and the more that I work on this editor, the more things I'm adding and changing, and I'm still testing because there's some things in the game that are a little bit off. One of the things I'm working on is the player head, their heads and eyes. Some of the players, I think there's something going on with the linemen where the faces are all screwed up for some of them because I think I have a setting, like I'm setting them with the wrong face or something that person can't typically get when you create them in game. So anyways, there's a few things I'm doing. One of the things that I've been kind of tinkering with, which is cool, is I set off trying to make some rosters, basically making the Bills team to start off with, to see if I can get some testing on the editor and see how it's working and make sure everything looks good. So, by the way, in the background, this is just me playing around. You're going to see I made the Bills and the Browns last night, and they're not perfect, but this is just some gameplay. And I'm not very good at this game, and it's a really hard game. They really make you earn it, and I'm also trying to see how the ratings work. Because what I did was I took the 2K4 rating rosters that Gil Goldberg made, and I added code to the editor to basically I added code on the old ESPN 2K4 editor to export the roster file that he made into a spreadsheet, a CSV file, and then I import that into the Fever game. But it's a pain in the ass because you have to, not a pain because it's nowhere near as bad as creating a new roster, but it still takes some work because you have to create all the players in the game that you want for that team, and then you have to assign them to the team. Really, this is more to avoid the salary cap, because when you sign them as 50 rating, they're not worth a lot. So you can sign them all to the Dolphins, let's say, and then you have a full team of John Doe created players on every position that you think you're going to need. And this game it requires you to have a certain number of slots, and I'll probably post a picture right here so you can see. But anyways, if you don't have like two fullback, which not every team even has a fullback, it doesn't allow you to save or at least to leave the roster editing process in the game. So you set up all of your positions with the created players for that team, and then I have to go into the editor and I import the rosters from 2K4 into those slots. And then what I did, because I got even more curious with the ratings, was I took the Madden 16 ratings, which I know aren't perfect, but at least they're diversified, and they're different for every player, and they should be matching up close to what the players do in real life. So I mapped the columns that are in the spreadsheet that you get from the Madden 16 ratings online. So like throw power will go to throw power, and I don't know, carrying or catching would go to hands in this game. So I mapped the fields from Madden to the fields in Fever, and once I get all the 2K4 things in place, which that kind of handles the names, the date of birth, the height, the weight, all the equipment, the facial features, the body type, all that's all taken care of from the 2K4 roster. But then the Madden roster is kind of like a second pass where I go through and I rate them automatically using the Madden roster or the Madden ratings spreadsheet. So I've cut down the time it takes to create these rosters dramatically. With this game, there's just some legwork in particular. And what I'm trying to do also is do some sort of a prototype proof of concept to apply this same coding to my other editors. More mainly the backbreaker one is the one I'm probably going to do next, because it's a lot easier to do that than even this game. This game takes some legwork to even load it, because you have to load them in steps, and that's because I don't have access to those NFL players. Whereas backbreaker, it's a preset number of slots. You know exactly what you're hitting. You don't have to create any players or load them or anything like that. So it just makes it a lot easier. So this is what I'm working on, and you know, with every project that I have, there's time it takes to test it, to fix bugs, to add new things that you see missing or things that you see weird in the game. So I'm sorry guys, as much as I wanted to get it out this weekend, it's just not the right time. I think it's too early. It's going to be more of a problem for you, and then it's just not going to be as successful unless if I do it later, it'll be better. And I don't know how this whole, last thing I'll say is I don't even know how the whole importing of these spreadsheets is going to work. In terms of when I release it, I don't even know if I'll be able to add that in. But once we get a baseline roster out there and all the created players have been set to those teams, it makes it a lot easier, because now you can basically just use the editor. You don't have to worry about preloading everything one by one, and we have a baseline, and then you know, we can kind of go from there. So anyways, that's it guys. I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching. Peace out.